Well, hi Westwood, Matt Velasco here. I have the privilege of serving as our high school ministry director at the Chanhassen campus. And I also have the privilege of bringing today's mercy moment to you wherever you are tuning in. We are in the midst of Holy Week. And Holy Week is our anticipation of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ so that we may know and have salvation in Him. It is such a precious thing. And throughout these mercy moments this week, we've been focusing in and zooming in on God's love for humanity that would compel His Son, that would compel Christ to come down to earth and love us. And alongside His coming down to earth to love us was His coming down to earth to serve us. And we have no better picture of that than in John 13 when He washes the disciples' feet. It says this in John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that His hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved His own who were in the world, He loved them to the end. During supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray Him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into His hands and that He had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside His outer garments and, taking a towel, tied it around His waist. Then He poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around Him. This is a beautiful picture of this reality. Jesus came down in love to serve us, so much so that He took on the garments of a servant. That's what it says when He threw aside His outer garments. He took on the garments of a servant to wash His disciples' feet, to wash our feet, so that we may know His love. And really, I view Christ's service in John chapter 13, in His washing of His disciples' feet. Not only was He serving them, but He was commissioning them. This is the commissioning before the Great Commission, when Christ washes the feet of His disciples so that they would have those beautiful feet to bring the good news. And so today's mercy moment, as you roll over out of bed into the bucket of God's mercy, is to remember this, that Christ has washed your feet through salvation so that you may be commissioned to serve other people in the love that Christ has shown us through His service. Go read John chapter 13 today. It will encourage your soul. It will spur you on to love people and serve people, because Christ comes and He died for us. He served us so that we could die to ourselves and serve other people. That's what Christ's love compels us to do. I love all of you. Have an amazing rest of your Holy Week as we look to the cross.